September, we went to
Sorry.
In September, we went to a Symphony of the Cells class given by Boyd Truman. Boyd Truman has been a masseuse and a naturopathic healer and a really crunchy dude, you know, granola guy all the way through and through for 30 years. So he's been in this business since the early 90s. And his very first encounter with essential oils was in France at a symposium for natural healers in the 90s. And he uses exclusively doTERRA products with his Symphony of the Cells. Now, you'll notice that doTERRA's only been in business for 8 or 9 years now. I think we're working on our 9th year, right, Shalene?
13.
They were founded in 08, so
Yeah, I think it's more like, I think it's more like.
And Boyd used other products. So Boyd has been using doTERRA exclusively for 12 years, but before that, he had 20 years experience almost with other products and no longer uses them because we are the international leader in purity. So there was a lot of information that he gave us that I can't share with you because it's non-compliant, but it's in the book. So get the books. I'll show you the books real quick. This one is called Oil Smart. It has a lot of information about symptoms of non-homeostatic events in the body, otherwise known as diseases. There's the Symphony of the Cell Applications book and the Symphony of the Cells journal. So I'm not going to take you through each one of these books. I'm going to highlight why we use Symphony of the Cells and what it does. So here we go with my first screen share. Ba-ba-da. Boom. Here it comes. There it is. Yes. Okay.
Great.
Symphony of the Cells, not created by Patti Kent. Hold on. So we just go, how do we get to the next page?
So
there we go.
Good job.
Okay. So what's the big idea with Symphony of the Cells? It's about getting your hands wet. We apply the oils to our clients. We sample by application. We put the oils on the clients, right on their skin. It's about establishing usability so the clients can use and consume. And it's about establishing a secure supply to sell and resell, because if they don't use them, they won't rebuy them. So higher use equals higher retention of our clientele equals higher sales, which also equals higher enrollment. Is everybody with me on this? Okay, excellent. Natural health is not alternative. It is the way we are supposed to be. It is homeostasis. This is our life balance, our static ability to be alive. It's not an alternative. It is the way that we're designed to be. The human body is an electrical and chemical system of systems working in harmony to maintain homeostasis or health. The Symphony of the Cells is SOC, is an aggressive, individualized approach to initiate healing in the electrical and chemical systems of the human body. Physical injury creates emotional injury, and emotional injury creates physical injury. These things are interchangeable. They're not completely interchangeable, but they are intertwined. Chronic toxin exposure builds up in the body. Toxins are in our water, our foods, our personal hygiene items, our air, our workplaces, our homes, our yards. We make choices every day to increase or decrease our toxic load. And Symphony of the Cells is how we take responsibility for our crap, essentially. There. So what we're going to do with Symphony of the Cells is we're encouraging you to clean out the sludge. We start with clean water and diet and exercise, which is the best foundation. Can you guys see me moving the pictures back and forth, or?
We don't, we just see each slide as you put it up.
Okay, I'm gonna minimize my pictures then. Okay, so metabolism our metabolism is how we clean out our sludge. Our metabolism can be helped by high quality food high quality food can quickly change metabolism and our genes in an epigenetics fashion. Enzymes in our foods and in our supplements can help us get the most nutrition out of our diet. And we clean and clear the gut to maintain homeostasis and support the immune system. Wait, I have a chat here. What is this? This is, okay, excellent. And then we have a liver clean out or detox is vital to the success of recreating a healthy human experience. Citrus oils contain a product called limonene, which does not clean the liver. However, it does help the liver create glutathione, which does help the liver clean itself. The liver cannot create glutathione without limonene. Oils that have a 95% limonene content are grapefruit, tangerine, wild orange. Less limonene, but still effective, lemon, lime, bergamot, green, red, yellow mandarin, and other pure citrus oils. Bergamot mint is not a citrus oil. It doesn't have the limonene content. So detox happens, and when it does, don't freak out. When we have toxins in our lifestyle, our bodies try to break them down and excrete them in waste, urine, feces, and sweat. The last resort of the body to toxin overload is to store them in fatty tissues, such as a beer belly, your love handles, your saddlebags, that little extra chin, and a fatty liver. And this is the important part to remember. The fatty liver cannot detox itself without the glutathione. As the body and the liver detoxes, which usually begins within about 24 hours of application, the skin sometimes will display eruptions. Chronic toxic storage can take 3 to 6 weeks to clean out. Now that's repeated applications. That's not a single application takes 3 to 6 weeks to clean out. A single application starts clean out within 24 hours. Chronic toxic storage can take 3 to 6 weeks to clean out. So the skin will erupt. This is your integumentary system. It is the largest organ system of the body, and as such, it shows the damaging effects of our lifestyles, both acute and chronic, in the following ways. Acne, which is more acute than chronic, psoriasis, rosacea, and eczema. Psoriasis is a sign of a fatty liver, which is fat on the inside of the body. It's a visceral fat, but it's a hard visceral fat. To reduce the effects of alcohol, fried foods, corn oil, and many prescriptions in creating a fatty liver, we use topical geranium, topical and internal frankincense, and we use zendocrine, topical and, of course, internal. Rosacea is a sign of a hormonal imbalance, which is your endocrine system, to reduce glandular imbalances and blockages, which are affected by the SAD, the standard American diet, chemical use in the home, and personal hygiene items that include chemicals like phthalates and other shelf stabilizers. We use frankincense, rosemary, clary sage, and citrus oils internally and topically. Eczema is a sign of tissue breakdown from a diet which is overly rich in proteins. So a lot of the latest diet phase is to do a lot of proteins, but they don't really get the residuals of that out of the system. So to reduce the overload of undigested proteins in the gut, we use GX Assist to clean out residual food waste once a day. We want to start slow to use the smallest but most effective and safe dose. We use 1 a day until bloating subsides. Then we'll use Terrazyme 3 times a day and PB Assist twice a day. Oh, I didn't put that there, I'm sorry, to rebuild the gut biome. And of course, LLV generates the highest nutritive boost to a new and healthier diet. We just had a class on LLV a couple of weeks ago, so I don't feel the need to redo that.
But Patty, maybe we could just say that the GX Assist, the Terrazyme, the PB Assist, and Lifelong Vitality are all doTERRA supplements that are available.
Yes.
Natural, helpful to your body. But I'll tell you, the one thing I've ever tried is GX Assist is the hardest thing on the body, but that's because it's doing the most hard work, right?
It is. And that's why we want to start slow and easy with that. We don't want to shock the system. A body that has chronic buildup of undigested proteins and residuals from a fatty diet will have the worst effect. I mean, the worst response. It will clean you out, but we want to use just one a day at night, so you get the most absorption of it. But hopefully it'll just take one. Hopefully it'll just take one. So how do we select and apply the Symphony of the Cells? So let's say we have a chronic issue and we need information on how to pick out what Symphony of the Cells protocol we're going to use. First of all, a couple of bits of information. This is not a massage. This is an oil application. It is an external oil application. The oils are dropped onto the backbone and gently spread out over the back, shoulders, and neck. The residue on your hands can be placed near the client's nose for an aromatic use and then wiped on the soles of the feet. So you will need your clients to expose their backbone. Are you there?
I think we're here. We just got a little feedback. I'm not sure from who.
Okay. So the client may need moisture or heat to intensify the effects of the application at the end. A few of these protocols have moisture or heat. Now, the good news is you don't have to remember any of this yourself, because there's a good book or three. As I showed you, the Oil Smart, the Symphony of the Cells application book, and the Symphony of the Cells journal by Boyd Truman will help organize your thoughts and your priorities with your clients. We find the malady or the condition or disease on a condition reference card, which is included in the set. The condition reference card then helps us select a system it is related to. You could have a malady that is related to two or more body systems, like the digestive system, the skeletal system, the muscular system, the neurosystem. We then select the application recipe, the protocol, which could be more than one again, and we select the oil. And we have the client expose their feet and backbone from the occipital lobe to the sacral complex. So if you give me just a moment. Oh, husband. So can you guys see what I see?
So
Can you guys see my camera? So here's an example that we are going to try on my brave husband, Dale's. Today, we are going to use the Chi application. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen
Patty,
so
would you
you
show
guys
us-
can see me.
Patty, would you just show us the book before you do it on him, so that they can if they haven't seen the Symphony of the Cells before, just see the page, even the Chi page, just
Right. So I was going to show you the Chi. Yes. So this is the protocol here. Boyd lists every oil in order, and you'll just go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. These little diagrams tell you where and how to apply the oil, and there's a key in the front of the book. Over here, you see the top systems that are, and I guess it's backwards for you. Here, this one says
it's great.
musculoskeletal, and then this one says nervous system, that these oils will affect. And then these are some of the maladies whose symptoms will be addressed with the application of these oils.
Nice.
Now, compliant language says, this is not a cure. These are simply maladies whose symptoms can be addressed with application of the oils. How's that?
Good job.
Got any lawyers in the room?
Good job.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with having the client arrive with a robe on backwards. Client. Here's my client.
Yes.
He's wearing a regular bathrobe on backwards so that when he lays down on the surface, the robe will protect the table and only his spine will be exposed. So have a seat.
Is there a way to make her screen
Yeah, like
biggest?
Yes, if you guys want to click the button in your upper right-hand corner that says view and click on speaker, it makes the person that's talking be your whole screen. And you're going to be able to have a much better view of what Patty's doing.
Thank you.
All right, so a couple of important things. Bare feet. Bare feet are important. We need occipital lobe of the neck down to the sacral of the spine, right? So I'm just going to take this little sheet right here and tuck it right down here. Now, you want to know how much of each oil to put on, and all I can say is what Boyd said was cover the skin. Apply enough oil gently to cover basically rib to rib, not bedside, but rib about here across the spine and the same size to the back. The bigger the client, the more oils you're going to need, or the more carrier oil you're going to need to put in there. So we're going to start by taking the lid off of all of the oils we're using. I've already put them across on the side. The Chi protocol is kind of expensive. It's got some very pricey oils in it, but it's worth it. Chi is a word that comes from the Oriental massage that means energy. So as an energy flow, this Chi will address some possible conditions such as aches, arthritis, back aches, bursitis, gout, some symptoms of herniated disc, muscle weakness, joint issues, restless leg syndrome, sciatica, It goes down the line a little bit. The reason why we apply this to the spine is because the oils will soak directly through the skin and into the spinal column's cerebral spinal fluid sac. This sac is connected to the cerebral fluid areas in the brain, in the subarachnoid spaces, which flows into the lakes that are inside the hemispheres, the two sides of the brain and around the hindbrain, and down into the lymphatic system, which then flows through all the parts of the human body. The lymphatic system is our fat digestive system as well. So anything that is fat soluble gets to the brain. I'm just saying that's the science. So, ready?
We're ready.
Ready? Oh. Here we go. We start with frankincense. And the first thing we're going to do is apply a little bit of frankincense to my hand. And I'm going to spread it on his neck and his shoulders. That's the first step. I'm going to let him smell it. There we go. And then we're going to apply to the back. There's about 5 or 6 drops. We go up and down the spine with it, and then we gently circle the skin. We do not put pressure on the skin. We simply circle it. And this is to spread the frankincense out. The frankincense, and now I'm going to put it on his feet. Hold on. So all the drops of frankincense are used. Now, frankincense is a king of the oils, and it actually has been tested to reduce nervousness. It reduces anxiety, and it reduces somatic nerve symptoms, signals, so it can reduce pain as well. The next oil is Neroli, and we have it in the roll-on. So I'm just going to put it right on his spine, up and down. There we go. A nice healthy dose of it. I'm going to let him smell it. There you go. I'll put a little bit more. And then I'm going to apply it this way, and then I'll roll just a little bit of it onto his feet. Neroli is a floral oil. It says, the Latin name of it says citrus, which is interesting. And let me put it on his feet. So now I'm going to apply carrier oil. This will help the rest of the oils glide. This is just our regular fractionated coconut oil. If you have someone with sensitive skin, we now have a sensitive skin body oil. I 100% recommend that you use the oil that's best for your clients. Now, of course, when I put the carrier oil on, he doesn't have to smell this, but I am going to put it on his feet to help with conditioning his feet. The next oil we have is cypress. Now, cypress is a woody resin oil, but it's not very thick. It's very thin. Cypress helps with grounding and balancing mood. It is, I believe it's in our balance oil. I know it's in several other blends that we have that promote a positive outlook, a warmth to the skin, a slight warmth. It's nowhere near as warming as others. Sorry, take a deep breath. Take another one. It's good for you. There you go.
And Patti keeps saying client,
There
but
we
it
go.
could just be for your family member, for your child. Yes. If it's a client. it's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Absolutely. I say client, but I mean, you know, this person sitting over here. Okay, wait, where's my next one? Lemongrass is next. Now, lemongrass is a great oil. It's one of Boyd's favorites. Lemongrass is a great cleanser for urinary tract, kidney, that sort of thing, areas. He uses lemongrass because it's one of the least expensive oils on our, you know, I mean, it's like what, $10, $15 a bottle. I mean, you can't beat that with a stick. Okay, there you go. It has a very pleasant aroma. Take one more deep breath. There, nice, huh? Yeah. It smells like Chinese lemon drop soup, honestly.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you ask me, hold on a second, I have lost control of the lids here. Yeah. Okay. After the lemongrass comes a blue tansy. Now this is a blue oil. It's got a very high antioxidant rating, and as you can see, it really is blue. So it will stain anything you get it on. It does tend to make a mark on the skin, but we're going to go ahead and put it on the spine and just rub it into the body. I only put about 4 or 5 drops on here because we've got a really nice layer of oil. And so it kind of smooths over the skin really, really well. Blue tansy is in, oh my gosh, a lot of pain relieving blends that we have, blends that are designed to increase a sense of well-being. a little happiness quotient. There you go. Okay, smell that. One, and do it again. It's good, huh?
Very nice.
Yeah, you love it. You love it. So blue tansy is one of the more expensive oils, and so is Helichrysium, which is down the list as well. So here is Siberian Fur. It is another one of those grounding, pleasant mood, pleasant smelling wood resin type of oils, which I just have to say, I think it's in the Midnight Escape. Oh my gosh, one of my favorites. It smells good. I'm all heady. I'm all getting this in my system too. I want you to realize that the exchange of energy here, it is a two-way street. It does flow back and forth. As you're applying these oils, it helps to keep you grounded if you're barefoot. And here's the theory behind that real quick. Take another one. There you go. The theory behind the barefoot masseuse, some people scoff at it. They're just not comfortable in their bare feet. Personally, I would not have the electrical beings that we are. Being barefoot really increases the flow of electrons. I know, you think I'm being silly, but it's true. The flow of electrons, touch is healing. So when I touch Dale's, my body is not actually touching his body. There's a teeny tiny minuscule gap between my skin and his skin, and that's where the electricity flows. It's science, it works, trust me. So this next one is Helichrysium. We have a Helichrysium touch, which you can use if you haven't built up your oil repertoire. But I use the pure oil just because it has amazing capacity for healing, for tissue rebuild, for pain relief. It has an incredible effect on somatic nerves. This stinks, smell.
Ooh.
It is stinky. Some people just do not like it. It's very strong. Strong, but it feels great on the feet. And Helichrysium, personally, I credit Helichrysium with getting rid of a very stubborn toenail infection that I have. Okay, so after Helichrysium, we're going to go with Copaiba, which is sort of the prince of the hour. Copaiba comes from a tree in the Amazon called the Copaiba, of course. We call them like we find them. This has a topical pain relief and an internal pain relief effect. I'm sorry, discomfort alleviation. It works almost immediately. We have so many testimonials on the power of this oil that it just seems like it would be silly to kind of deny it. So I'm just gonna have a little extra on my hand. I'm gonna go up into the back of the neck. Here, give me a smell. Smell that twice. Yes, nice deep breaths. Isn't that awesome? And then we have Wintergreen. Now, Wintergreen is something you want to be very careful with. It is a hot oil, like peppermint. It is a warm oil. And we're just going to place this. It comes out a little slowly. We just got 5 or 6 drops right up and down the spine and then around the back. It's funny, you can't see it on your cameras, but I can still see the blue stripes from the blue tansy.
Hey, Patti, I love that you changed hot to warm, because I feel like when we call them hot oils, it really scares people away from using them. And
Yeah.
they are very strong, and you need to have fractionated coconut oil handy in case it's too much, but none of the oils, well, except maybe oregano. Oregano's, I consider oregano hot, but it's just so doggone good for us. But warm is a better way to say it. It's just to be careful with a little bit of the warm oils.
Yeah, and remember there's like 7 other oils on here already. So this is already going to have a diluted effect because we're layering these. Boyd says that there is a reason for layering them, but he hasn't told us all the secrets yet. So the last one is peppermint. Now, peppermint is going to bring circulation and blood flow to the skin, which is going to heat the skin up just a bit. Again, it is a warm oil. Anyone who did that stupid Dr. Bonner's TikTok thing knows you don't screw around with peppermint oil on the body in sensitive tissues, and you don't screw around with peppermint oil in water, because water will intensify the effect of these oils. Some of these protocols require a moisture treatment, which could be nothing more than just a simple towel that is put hot water in it, run hot water from the faucet, wring it out as much as you can so it's barely damp, lay it directly on the skin. It will intensify the feelings of heat. I have this handy dandy hot pad. Didn't this, okay, do that again. There you go. And this is going to go on his feet. So this hot pad over here is made with non-popping corn, if I can be so bold as to put it that way. My goodness, some of my lids must have fallen off. Oh no, they fell in. There they are. Never mind. I'll straighten that out in a little bit. Anyway, so stay here, honey.
Okay.
Stay here. I'm going to run this over to the microwave. You guys, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Okay. So I'm going to put a heat on here and I'll be right back. I think I need a third assistant.
You did great. Hey, while she's doing that, there are 1 or 2 of the protocols that say that you don't need the heat. So they don't all put the heat on after it's done, but most of them do. And I know when I had it done to me, it just really intensified the oils getting into the system when they went. Anybody else have comments or experiences with Symphony of the Cells? So when I was in Cabo, I had contracted shingles on my way home. I'm always a mess. I'm always having something going on. And I was very thankful to be there with doTERRA people. And I had my Symphony of the Cells book, and Joe was able to do the protocol. I don't even remember which one it was that lists shingles as one of the ailments it supports, but it was really nice to have that support when I was going through such a tough time with shingles.
So here's my hand with the blue tansy on it. So for the hot, we just use a warm compress. This was heated in a microwave for just 30 seconds. So it's barely skin plus, just a little bit. And so it'll sit there on him for about 2 or 3 minutes, or until you're comfortable and you want to get up. We'll just mute you if you start snoring. That's okay. Okay, so questions in the chat room. 5 to 7 drops and half that for kids, generally speaking. Yes, because we do want them to go up and down the spine and then spread out across the back. Smaller clientele, you're going to increase your use of carrier oil for dilution. And I would also use more touch formulas than straight oils, especially for things like Helichrysium and peppermint and such. And yeah, you're going to use just a little bit. The idea is to apply the oils across the surface of the skin, but not. Let's see, Boyd did mention several experiences. He has tested all these protocols on his, what did he say, 6, 7 children? He's got lots of them. he did talk about his one child. He was in France about 30 years ago, of course. And his 3 or 4-year-old was taken to the doctor, and his wife said, he's got asthma, he'll never breathe again, and he'll never be in sports. He's got to take all these drugs. Boyd did not like that. And he said, okay, do what you need to do now. Because, there's no use arguing with the mother. So he said, do what you need to do now. And when I get back, give me 3 days. And she said, okay. So Boyd finished his symposium trip there in France, got back to the United States. And I think they were in New Mexico at the time. And he got home and his son was like, hi, Dad. I got asthma. Because he can't breathe because he's got asthma. He's been diagnosed with asthma. So they throw all kinds of medication at him. And so Boyd took that medication and put it in a box. And he took the oils out that he had just learned about. And he applied the beginnings of the protocols that he developed later into Symphony of the Cells. And in 2 or 3 days, his son was breathing fine. In 3 weeks, he never had another wheeze or cough again. He says he's never gone back, and he's been playing sports as a young adult. So he has the personal experience of having symptomatic diseases and affecting those symptoms with an aggressive application of these oils. Now, if you were here in the house, you could smell all of this. So I'm getting a great application of the oils just by standing here and talking to you. I wish you guys could smell it at the class. We were a good 55 to 60 feet away from Boyd, and we could smell the oils he was applying. He does say that if at first you don't get one protocol, after 2 or 3 applications doesn't give you the effect that you want to see, the improvement that you're looking for, use the next protocol on the list. And I have the list over there for the condition cards and the different protocols. If you're suffering from the symptoms of asthma, the respiratory system is the system that's going to be first affected by the Symphony of the Cells. That's where your target's going to be. Your secondary system might be the nervous system, because maybe you actually are having a reaction, a response to something in the air, but maybe you're having an emotional response to anxiety, and that is what's closing up your system. Maybe what you need, the emotional limbic system protocol to help kind of, smooth that system out. Maybe you're having, instead of asthma, maybe you're having acid reflux and regurgitation into your esophagus, which can cause you to have heartburn-like and asthma-like constriction in your bronchioles. Maybe you need the digestive protocol. There's a lot of different systems that can cause these symptomatic maladies. Okay. Any other questions? Anything else?
I
know
covered it.
It's a lot to take in, but it works. It does a great job. It really does. I haven't had anybody who's had a toxin explosion or eruption on their skin yet. But I'll let you know, I have this wonderful potion lotion that I make in my kitchen to address that.
Well, and it was interesting because one of the things Boyd said was that sometimes our body's detoxifying and it gets worse before it gets better.
Yeah, that's because the toxins are sometimes stored in our fatty tissues. And as those toxins are pushed out of the body, well, they have to go through the whole systemic, they have to go through your whole system in order to be kicked out. So you're going to have those toxins that were bound up and stored are suddenly going to be released in the body before they're flushed out. So that's why things get worse before they get better. Someone who is suffering from alcoholism, who quits drinking alcohol feels worse than they've ever felt in their life for about 4 weeks until the body detox, squeezes all the residual of the alcohol poisoning out of their system. Then they feel good. That's why the 30-day chip is such a momentous accomplishment. Many people just don't make it that far.
Interesting.
Any
Patti,
other
thank you
questions?
so much. I love all this great information. Thank you, Patti, for being with us. We need to end and move on to our business. But Patti, thank you and thanks, Dales. Thank you so much. I know he didn't mind.
He's probably sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, he moves.
We appreciate
Okay,
you
I'm going to
guys.
mute, and I think Rhonda's taking the business
Yep.
portion.
I just wanted to say that next week, Dr. John is teaching us about Copaiba and going to help us understand the similarities of natural Copaiba to CBD oil. So come and join us next Tuesday night to hear from Dr. John. And thanks for joining us. If you want to stay on for the business portion, feel free. We'll just be a short 5 minutes or so here. And so glad to have you all with us. See you next week.